Out of mind. Gonna tell you one time, gonna make it count. You're the brightest thing that I ever did see. Diamonds ain't got nothing on your love.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Confessional Magazine. I'm Taylor, and today I am joined with the wonderful Drew James, and I'm so excited to share his story. He's an amazing choreographer, film producer. He kind of is a man of many, many talents, and we're so excited to get to know him a little bit better. So, Drew, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really, really excited to be here with you today. I am.
Of course. So, Drew, when did you first get into dance?
I could say dance has pretty much been with me since I was born. Literally, my uncle said to me, you did like this little like head nod thing when you like came out. This might be TMI, but like, you know, this womb or whatever. But like, you know, ever since I literally was a kid, I have just loved to perform. I've loved to dance. Some of my influences growing up were Michael, Janet, So Weird Now. We would have to put the VHS tape in the tape, and I would ruin the tapes constantly because I kept rewinding the tapes to learn the routines and stuff like that. So it's so funny now with these kids have YouTube and all this other stuff now. And I'm young still, but like, you know, yeah, that was dancing has always been with me. Always.
Yeah, but you're right. We are from the generation that like we remember like audio tapes and recording things like from the radio station.
Yes. And in order to see one of your like favorite music videos, you had to wait. There was no like, let me type in like Britney Spears Baby One More Time. You had to wait for it to show up, number one on TRL, of course, but you had to wait for that video to come on so that you could do the dancing, and then you had to remember it, and then you didn't see it again until you saw it again on the thing. So like, it's just so weird how like even as a dancer, you trained in different ways now from other dancers, and now being an educator, now I'm starting to see the differences and stuff like that too. But yeah, I mean, that was how I learned. I literally just kept rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind, play, and that was.
And so when was the first time that you decided like, I'm not just dancing like in my parents' living room, I'm gonna do this on stage, or I am a performer, I'm not just doing this as like a little kind of hobby?
So I would probably say it was around the time, I think I was 16. I was in high school. Like I said, I always knew I wanted to dance, but I remember my mother said to me, Lauryn Hill, which a lot of you, well, let me take that back because I'm dating myself. Lauryn Hill, for those of you who don't know, was like it during my time. So like she was a really, really successful R&B artist. She was with the Fugees, and then she was also like one of the leads in Whoopi Goldberg's Sister Act 2 back in Habit. And around that time, they were about to come out with a third one. So Lauryn Hill's aunt worked at my mother's school, and she had saw me do a talent show performance, and she said, who is that boy up there? Da, 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 da. And then my mom worked there, and then she was like, oh, this is my son. Long story short, I think it was like, I was 16 at the time, and she said, I want you to be a part of the third Sister Act, and I want you to be like a dance for me for my Smoke and Grooves tour, which it was like Outkast, and Lauryn Hill was like the headliner. But that was the moment when I said, this is totally what I want to do. And when you're 16 at that age, you're just like, you're not doing what most of your friends are doing, but like, you're like, oh my God, I'm about to hit a stage. And I didn't really have an understanding of what was going on. But yeah, that for me was like it sealed the deal. 100%.
That's incredible. And I mean, let's just be honest, I've known you for years. We actually grew up in the same town. You were prom king with my sister. She was prom queen. Fun little tidbit. But like,
I wish I had the yearbook and I would like flash it right now. I actually still, It was so weird. That literally was the cliche of like a She's All That movie. Like for
Yes.
you who have never seen She's All That, like I wasn't expecting to win either, by the way. Just that's another thing too.
I feel like that was the year that like my sister definitely wasn't expecting to win. And
Yeah,
you
you know, I don't know if they're gonna watch this video, but like I was up against friends or those who are watching, I was up against like the Freddie Prince Juniors, the Paul Walkers, the jocks and everything. And that was also around the time when I was starting to come out too. I was starting to become like comfortable with my sexuality. And so like I didn't know, being a high school kid too, I'm also dealing with that. And I'm also dealing with like the struggles of like, are people gonna like me? Because that's the age where you want people to like you. Like you want people, you want friends. So like I remember going into it and I was like, I am not gonna win this. And then we just ended up winning and it was great. And I
you
remember
guys nailed it.
face, like she was just like, remember us laughing, and there's a picture of us laughing because I literally said to her, I was like, I can't believe we won. And she starts cracking up. That was a good moment.
I love it. I love it. But that's just like another example of like you just following your heart and being able to put yourself out there, which then has transitioned into your, you know, adult life and continuing on in a platform that people are looking to you as inspiration. So what can you tell us about what you're doing, you know, these days when it comes to your dance work?
So coming from the Lauryn Hill, which I talked about, I literally have now transitioned into what I call now, being in my 30s now, like a full bloomed like artist. I was dancing, then, you know, dancing took me on tour with different artists, music videos and such, and then I started doing the choreography. So then I became a choreographer, which then in turn helps you become a really good creative director, which then turned into, I just randomly, it was random. I started getting into videography and then photography. And then I did like little modeling here and there, like in my early 20s. And so like with all these different things now that were kind of, I guess, enhancing me to be the best version artistically of myself. Now I'm at a point where I have my own business now with my best friend, called the JD Agency, J for Jonathan, and then D for Drew Agency. And we now are engineered and geared towards getting the next generation of dancers like prepared, but not necessarily getting them prepared for just dancing. I think, like I mentioned before, the way that the world is shaping into kind of building dancers, it's so important now for young dancers to be able to do everything, I feel, for themselves. And it's okay to have, you know, some support there, but like I think it's important to get these young kids into super soldiers in a sense, in order to really be able to gauge and to be able to like be like, I know that this picture was not it because there's too much light, there's too much saturation when you're doing a video. Oh, there's too much space between the main subject versus everything else that's there, and I wanted like a blurred effect and the composition and yada yada yada. And then I recently, the past 3 years now, started working for Vogue now. So now I'm working for Vogue, which is another milestone, which if you would have asked me when I was homecoming king, are you going to work for one of the biggest fashion people in the world? It's like, no, never would I imagine that. And that literally got sent to me from God, I always say. So now with fashion, video, my business, we do stuff with the clothing line now, dancing still. I teach at different studios. I travel. Now I'm working for comps. I literally just, it's like, I always say like I'm highly blessed and highly favored. So now it's like I'm literally doing the dream of just not just dancing, but like everything, literally everything, I feel like.
The world of like dance entertainment, you're encompassing it all, and that's incredible. Yeah. I'm so happy for you that you've been able to like reach all of these huge milestones and goals, but you're still only in your 30s, so it still is just the beginning. So I always like to ask people, like, what are your like goals for the next 5 years, both like personally and professionally?
I'm laughing for the personally. Personally, I would love to find a man. I mean, that's the personal aspect. I would love that. To be able to share everything that I'm sharing would be phenomenal. But I am one of those type of people, once again, that when the time is right, it'll happen. So personally, just to make people laugh who are watching that would probably be that. Envious of these people on Bachelor in Paradise and all this other hot mess. But professionally, probably, I would definitely say I just want to keep going. I think seeing that there's no boundary and there's no limits to what I could obtain and achieve, and to know that there's more, even when sometimes I feel like as people we feel like we should be grateful and thankful for where we're at, and I totally am, but I always feel like the moment we get to that point, we start to like complacency starts to kind of sink in a little bit, because you want to enjoy this moment, but then like we also can't remain too complacent, specifically as an artist, because there are so many other people out there that are constantly putting things out, that you want to be the first one or creative to kind of put an idea out, or you need to be that person for people to look at and be like, oh my God, this is so amazing, I'm inspired. So I think for me, I just want to keep growing as an artist creatively. I would love to create my own fashion line. It's funny because now I'm even interested in learning how to sew, having a Project Runway moment now. Because I have an aesthetic towards fashion, but like I always say, well, what if they just did that and da 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 da. So now that I kind of have the means and the money, let's just to a certain extent to put out my stuff and like whatever. Like now I'm like, okay, why don't we do that? I mentioned my agency. I would love for my business partner and I to be able to create like a huge hub, not only for dancers to train, but for other choreographers to work under us. So then that way it's like this huge, like global like thing where like, we're bi-coastal, maybe we're in, California, which is a big spot, or somewhere in the South, like Atlanta, or maybe if we are, in another country, like maybe like London's really big too. So I would love that. And yeah, I just want to keep growing.
There's no limit.
Yeah, no limit. I do not want to retire anytime soon. I would say mama is still dipping and doing and hitting these 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's praise Jesus. I have a Hand and Stone massage card. I use that thoroughly. Yes.
Treat yourself.
Yes, I got to keep going. I have to keep going. I have to. Yeah.
Amen. I love that, Drew. So I know that you worked on the Man in Motion project.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about that? Because that was pretty special, especially during like pandemic times, to get like all these kids together to do This Is Me.
Yeah, we when did we shoot that? We shot that like a little bit of whiles ago, whatever. With This Is Me, we literally it was about 5 dancers who all had their own situation. So we had like we had one dancer in there dealing with the dysphoria of dancers who are so constantly in their brains or in their minds about their weight and not feeling good when they move, and making sure that things are loose, so then that way people can't do their bodies. We had like a younger kid who was kind of like this loner, very quiet, I guess if you wanted to describe him like an emo type of person. So we tackled different things with 5 main leads, and then what happens is from there we had the other kids, and we figured we wanted to do something with the younger demographic, because then it kind of can show like this inspiration for other people who are not dancers or artists, in order to be like, wow, like that really touched me. So I was the choreographer on that, and then also the Jonathan Merced, big shout out to him, who is also my business partner for the JDA. He also choreographed it. So we had auditions for that. We were around New York City. We filmed it. We used the track This Is Me from The
Greatest Showman.
I had to think about it. And yeah, that was probably one of our last things with Man in Motion. Just like any situation, it's just like, you want to kind of like, you soar. There's always a season for different things. And like, I think John and I just wanted to just do something different too. But that was like one of our last things with Man in Motion before we left and kind of
ventured off into your own company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. So where are you guys based out of, and how can people find your information?
We are based out of, we always say, it's funny, the real truth is we're based in New Jersey, but it's funny because people are always so quick to be like, New York is better than Jersey. So we're so quick to say New York, whatever. So we're based in New Jersey, but I mean, New York is a bridge away, right? So that's why we say we're the East Coast. So we both live in Jersey, but like I said, since I'm always working in the city, he's always going into the city. It's like whatever. And if people ever want to find out information about our stuff, I mean, Instagram, our handle is JD Agency 0724, and then we each have our own separate ones. So we also like to give people our individual lives too, because he does different things than I do, and then it's kind of like Captain Planet. We put our rings together, and then it's like literally. I know a lot of people are like Captain Planet. I'm aging myself so bad on this.
Captain Planet, he's our hero. I got you, Drew.
So yeah, we kind of had to put a little bit of a backseat on the plans that we have for the JDA because of the pandemic, because we had just announced our agency or company maybe 6 months before. So we had already had like our production with our hoodies and our sweatshirts and stuff like that. And then boom, the pandemic hit, and all of the plans we had for the summer just kind of went, like most businesses and most. So we look forward to doing it. What is this? 21, 22. So, we try to keep people current, and we try to have people, really know things and stuff like that. But we still have big plans for that kind of stuff too. So
amazing. So what's your personal handle that people can follow you on Instagram?
My handle, because I recently got hacked, y'all, and Instagram doesn't do a thing. That's a whole nother story. My new handle, which I just created, friends, is Drew_James_24. Yeah, so people can follow me there. But I have to say, Taylor, like, being hacked is never fun, but I can tell you this. I took that experience and I said, you know what? At the end of the day, if I did not have Instagram, I still would be moving, transcending, right? And I guess this is just a friendly note for others. Like, Instagram is great. Yeah, it's wonderful, right? But I think when you have a traumatic experience like that, being hacked and having all of your things that you worked for taken away, at the end of the day, you still have yourself and your soul and your spirit. And I always say that, like, my work didn't change. It's just I'm not posting about it. And some people fall so heavily on social media. It's actually a little sad in a sense. Mm-hmm. So I just say to those, it doesn't matter what you're posting. It doesn't matter what, people like. It doesn't matter what other people see you doing. As long as you know that you're doing it, that should bring you that much satisfaction. I feel like I've been seeing that around lately, and I'm just like, you know what? Maybe this will be a good platform just to say that. So it's just like, you can't judge someone just based off the fact that like they're not posting. What is it like? Just because they're not posting, do you think they're not doing anything? No, it's probably
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think about that sometimes. I'm like, what is so-and-so from high school doing? Like, if they don't have social media, they still have a life. It doesn't mean that they're just like sitting in their room all day.
Exactly. They could be, the key is happiness, right? And we should never, and that like before, the Instagram was way before like these high schoolers now, this Snapchat. It's funny, Taylor, I asked one of my students yesterday, she goes, a boy added me on his Snapchat, and I was like, okay, does that mean something? She goes, yeah, that means that they like you. And I'm like, since what? Like that's like me, Taylor, like a boy messaging you back in high school. Let's say we were in high school and you got an ad, that means that the boy likes you. You've never had a conversation with the boy though.
No, I mean, no. I remember my like AIM buddy list. Those boys did not all like me.
But like, it's just so weird. It's like Snapchat. Like, I don't know if you've ever been, because I teach some kids too. Like, they'll go like, and like, but every 2 minutes, and I'm like, they're like, well, this is part of the regiment. Like, if you have Snapchat or you have, I don't even know what these. I don't know.
There's too many.
It's too many. I don't have time for it. I'm glad I'm not part of this life. Like, I can't.
Well, Drew, do you have any projects that you're working on now that you want to share with us, or anything like upcoming?
Let's see. Well, today was the premiere of, okay, I'm getting excited. Today was the premiere of episode 2 of Candid Conversations with John and Drew. It's like an interview web podcast type of vibe series where me and John talk candidly about things in the dance industry and being in the studio world, and we have gotten some, I mean, mostly positive feedback, but no one likes to hear the truth. So as much as they always say, oh, I want honesty, the minute they hear it, it's like, you guys sound a little cocky. But like, I always say that like the things that we're talking about are things that no one wants to talk about, and that is always, I guess, called like good TV. That's probably why I'm a fan of like Bravo, because don't get me started on all the shows I watch on Bravo. But all to say, I love television like that, so we were like, why not do it? So we've been getting like a big buzz and a hit. I mean, I would love for it to hit even like Bravo. If the producers want to put me and John on for a little, moment in our lives, like that would be fabulous. So we have that big show. We have another intensive coming out for dancers to train with us, which is in December, January. Specifically with me, I just got off finishing, it was really big in the fashion world. So Fashion Week just ended maybe like 2 weeks ago in New York. And then that following Monday, which was last week, I want to say, was the Met Gala. So I do like a little bit of writing here and there, using my English skills at heart to talk about things that I've seen in fashion. And, sometimes they ask me my opinion and stuff. So doing like a fashion blog or column and stuff like that. Yeah. And
So what did you think about Kim's outfit at the Met Gala?
Okay. I wasn't a fan. Oh my God, I'm tearing. I wasn't a fan, but could I kind of see what she was going for in the concept? Yes. Is that fashion to some? Because fashion is a very complicated thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like people who are not into fashion, just like dance, they're looking at a garment or something that looks totally off, avant-garde and all these other terms and stuff. Like, if you're not a fashion person, you don't understand the aesthetic or like the creative mindset behind why the Cheetah never showed her face and why, you know what I'm saying? So like right off the bat, you're going to get a negative critique from someone like that. But in the fashion world, she actually made people say this was iconic, and it was different, and I loved it. And she didn't show, it wasn't so much like about her body, and she didn't have like anything out or anything like that, because that's what Kim K is known for, body. But this one was a little bit more subdued. So do I like the fact that she took that approach versus the whole body yada yada yada? Yes, I will take that in a heartbeat. But it was I wouldn't have wore it, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I just had to get your input on that one.
Wasn't a fan, but yeah.
All right, Drew. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. And I can't wait for people to just get to know you a little bit better and just follow your journey. How can people watch your show that you were just talking about?
If you go to YouTube and you type in the Drew James 1, the number 1, you can see like all of my videos from it actually goes back far. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to see old videos, I mean, I'm better now, friends, so don't judge me like years ago. But I mean, like you can go there, subscribe, hit the subscribe button. You can see that video. I'm an Instagram person, and I like to keep my followers and stuff current. Out of the 30 that I lost from my old account, I gained back 11,000 pretty quick. Like within a month, I want to say.
That's really good.
I was just kind of like, okay, you know what? This is a fresh start. There's an active followers. There's some people that I didn't want to follow because I know that they weren't wishing me the best and all this and that.
Right.
So nice start. So all to say, for those of you who want to follow me, like I said, Drew_James_24. You can see everything that I'm doing, from video, fashion, photography, dancing, choreographing, creative directing, old videos, stuff like that. So yeah, you can always stay connected, always see what I'm doing. I make you laugh with my alter ego, with my little wig too. Like, people have said that my page makes them laugh and it brings them positivity. So I love it. So yeah.
I mean, we all need more of that right now, right? We're all going through it. So let's all just make each other smile. And what better way to do that than through laughter and music and dance? So thank you so much, Drew. It was so much fun to catch up with you and just see your face. And I really can't wait for more people to just hear your story and dance with you.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It's I was really excited. It was like, oh my God, what questions she's gonna ask me. But yeah, I've had a blast. I appreciate you and allowing me to speak on your platform and such. So I appreciate it.
So much love in this heart of mine.